Look, facing foreclosure it's incredibly stressful. But you are not powerless in this situation. Today, we're going to break down how to navigate the whole Colorado foreclosure process, and we'll show you how selling your home can actually be a really powerful strategy to protect your financial future. Let's dive in. This is it, right? This is the big question, the one that probably keeps you up at night. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle. We're going to give you a clear, actionable roadmap to an answer. It's all about taking back control, and it starts with understanding your options. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the timeline you're actually on. Then, we'll explore why selling can be such a strong defense. We'll walk through a step-by-step sales plan, touch on a few other options you might have, and then we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you absolutely need to remember. Okay, first things first. You gotta know what clock you're racing against. Seriously, understanding Colorado's foreclosure timeline is the very first step to getting ahead of this process instead of feeling like it's controlling you. This slide kind of lays out the typical path. It usually kicks off after about 3 missed payments. That's when you'll likely get a notice of default. From there, the lender actually files a lawsuit. If they get a judgment, a sale date is set for your home. Now, the crucial part here is the timeline. This whole thing gives you a window, usually about 3 to 6 months, to make a move before that final auction happens. So why is there a timeline at all? Well, it's because Colorado uses what's called a judicial process. This means it can't just happen overnight. The lenders have to follow very specific legal steps in court, and that process is what creates this defined period for you to respond and execute your own plan. So with that clock ticking, let's talk about your strongest defense. We're going to frame selling not as giving up, but as a proactive, strategic move to shield your finances and your future from the absolute worst-case scenario. Just look at this comparison. It really says everything, doesn't it? When you sell, you are in the driver's seat. You get to control the price, you get to keep any equity you've built up, and you protect your credit. But if you let the foreclosure happen, the bank takes over, you lose everything, and the financial damage is just severe. It's a really clear choice between control and loss. And speaking of damage, let's talk numbers. A foreclosure can just absolutely tank your credit score, dropping it by as much as 200 points. That's an impact that can follow you around for up to 7 years, making it tough to get loans, credit cards, or even just rent an apartment. So, knowing the stakes, how do you actually do it? How do you pull it off? Let's walk through a proven step-by-step plan that you can follow to successfully sell your home before that auction date shows up. And listen, this isn't just theory. This is a real story. John, by following the right plan, managed to sell his house with just 2 weeks to spare. He saved his credit, and more importantly, he was able to move forward with his life. It just goes to show you, a positive outcome is absolutely possible. Okay, here's the game plan. Step 1 is so critical. You have to act fast and talk to a foreclosure attorney to understand all your legal rights. Then, communicate with your lender. Tell them what you're planning. Next, you need the right real estate agent. Not just any agent, but someone who specializes in these fast-moving, high-stakes sales. From there, it's all about pricing it to sell quickly and marketing like crazy to get it closed before that final deadline hits. Now, while selling is often the most powerful tool in your belt, it's really important to know it's not the only one. Let's take a quick look at a few other potential paths so you have the complete picture. First up, you've got a loan modification. Don't think of this as a temporary patch. It's a permanent change to your loan to make the payments more affordable. This could be a good option if your financial hardship is more long-term, but you still have enough income to handle a lower payment. Next, there's forbearance. You know, the easiest way to think about this is like hitting a pause button. Your lender agrees to temporarily reduce or even suspend your payments for a bit. This is really best for short-term setbacks, like if you expect your income to get back on track soon. And finally, there's something called a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Basically, you voluntarily hand the keys back to the bank. Now, you still lose the house, but you avoid having the actual foreclosure on your record, which is a lot less damaging to your credit. This is usually an option when selling isn't really possible, maybe because you owe more than the home is even worth. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's just boil all of this down to the most crucial points, the things you absolutely need to walk away with today. All right, let's lock these in. First, remember that Colorado's process gives you some time, but that window closes fast, so you have to move quickly. Second, selling before that auction puts the financial control and any equity you have back in your hands. Third, getting expert help isn't optional. You've got to talk to legal and real estate pros early. And finally, explore all your options, because taking decisive action, no matter which path you choose, is the absolute key to getting a better outcome. And that brings us to our final, and honestly, most important question. It's a question only you can answer. With everything we've covered, knowing that the clock is ticking on your financial future, what is your first step going to be?